Hey guys, it's George Diamondyard Sports Cards coming at you with another video. This is kind of a recap of the fourth Arizona State Card Show, which took place last weekend, Labor Day. And by the way, happy Friday to everybody. Hope everybody's gonna have an awesome weekend. This card show took place, it was Friday, Saturday, and Sunday last week at the Phoenix Convention Center. So I just want to give kind of, for those of you guys who weren't there, give you a recap of kind of what went on. I picked up one card, which was a rare or scarce card, and I'll show that towards the end here. And then there'll be a video recap afterward. Anyway, so the card show was really pretty big. The advertisement was, it was 300 tables. And I mean, I don't think it was that many. It was maybe 225-ish, but it was quite a large amount of tables. The modern to vintage was probably somewhere around 80-20, but there were some awesome vintage dealers there. Our friend Hank Reeses was there. He does vintage basketball, had a beautiful Julius Erving autograph rookie, and it was signed Julius W. Erving, which is extremely rare, and he had it signed at the National. And sold it to my friend Eric, Grimy Man Sports Cards. And speaking of that, Eric and our friend Levon, LA Collection, had a table, and I kind of glommed on with them. So I did a little bit of selling at the table and kind of watched how they went about things. And that was really interesting. Friday, there was a lot of excitement at the show. The excitement was really palatable. I mean, like I felt, it was looking at stuff, trying to work deals. I went around and I looked and I found about 3 vintage cards I was interested in. And it was going to take a little bit to get there, a lot to get there, frankly, and sell some stuff. So I brought a lot of stuff to sell, mostly modern, some vintage. And I was able to sell some vintage from the booth, and saw how Eric and Levon realized, I think, especially like Saturday and certainly on a Sunday, that this was more of a buying show, and it was a really good buying show. People were Friday, it seemed like people were out, customers were out to buy, and then Saturday sort of changed a little bit, and by Sunday, people were looking to sell. And they came up to the booth and would talk a lot about different cards. You're going to see a gentleman with 33 Goudey partial set that came up to the booth and showed us some of his beautiful cards, including 3 Babe Ruths and a Lou Gehrig. And then I would say that the dealers were, again, predominantly modern. It was predominantly modern basketball, modern football. Lots of it. Lots of shiny stuff, lots of short-numbered stuff. Not much modern baseball. I tried to go around and sell some short print PSA 10 Judge rookies, DeGrom, and Soto. And I was having not much luck, especially Sunday. There was, again, quite a few vintage dealers, though, and they had some good stuff. There was a young man whose father deals in vintage, and he sent his son, I guess, from what I found out later, to this show, and he had some awesome vintage. And 2 of the cards I was really looking at, one was an Ernie Banks rookie, and the other one that I actually did pick up was a Walter Johnson. And I'm going to talk to you about that Walter Johnson shortly, but he was great. This young man was very knowledgeable. They had awesome cards. And so we had other guys there, especially really happy to meet Card Tech 710, Dane. Dane was there, and talked with him at length, and wish I hung out with him more. But he was there with his buddy. They were working the show. He had come down from Oregon. And Dane, it was a pleasure to meet you. I've had a relationship with Dane. Many of you in the community know him for about 4 years on YouTube, but never physically met him. A lot of friends came out and from the Phoenix area. A lot of guys between like 35 and 50 were coming out to check out cards, and it was good to see them as well. So the show, though, generally I would say it was a good show. Hopefully they'll have another one in March. There might be another one in November. And, a March show would be great in Phoenix because you have spring training and a lot of athletes here for spring training. We've got snowbirds, and it would be really a fantastic show. Last year we had the March show. It was good, but spring training was delayed because of, the lockout and stuff. So anyway, I would say, overall it was a good show. I was able to walk the floor. Dealers were willing to deal and move stuff. And, certainly would do it again. So this Walter Johnson I picked up, I'm going to get to that. So here we go. So been trying to add more pre-war, and Rick Vintage Oddball Cards was very helpful regarding this pickup. This was a Walter Johnson 1927 York Caramels. So I picked this SGC copy up, and it is really nice. There are only less than 50 of this graded combined between PSA and SGC. The highest graded SGC copy is a 5.5, and this is not quite a 5.5, but almost. And I saw this card and couldn't believe it. So I texted Rick about it. It was an SGC 5 York Caramels Walter Johnson. So this big train, just really happy to pick it up. Super rare in this grade. There's a PSA 5, I believe, which doesn't look close to this. There's an SGC 5.5. So I was thinking about maybe getting this reholdered. If you think I should, leave a comment. But, I traded a Michael Jordan, 88 Fleer Michael Jordan in a PSA 10, and I got some cash back on this. But just super rare Johnson. Now, this York Caramels set, there are some wonderful cards in it. I'm going to focus in on and talk about Walter Johnson a little bit, if I can get this in focus. So Johnson, this is a 1927 card, and this, I believe, is the last Walter Johnson card. The big train would finally pull into the station at the end of the 27 season. And Johnson was obviously, if not the top pitcher of all time, when he retired. He led in strikeouts, has 406 wins, I believe. And Johnson's strikeout record would last until 1982. So it would last, I believe, 55 years before Nolan Ryan would break it, and he and Steve Carlton would go back and forth on it. Johnson would be at first the GOAT, kind of, but in a bad way, and then the unsung, and then the hero of the 1924 World Series. He was 36 years old when the New York Giants and John McGraw's last year would play against the Johnson-led Washington Senators. And Johnson would lose 2 games in that World Series, but then come back in Game 7, and he would pitch 4 shutout innings and keep Washington in the game in the longest World Series Game 7 of all time, and one of the greatest of all time. And then the Senators would come back and they would win that game 4-3. Johnson would get the win, pitching 4 shutout innings, giving up 3 hits and 3 walks. So he was in and out of trouble in that game, and he was 36 years old. So it kind of capped off one of the greatest careers of all time. Johnson, again, strikeout king. Now he's number 9 on the strikeout list. But his achievements can't be denied, as just one of the all-time greatest pitchers. And so this York Caramels card, I was just really happy to trade it, to trade the Jordan to get this. I don't think I'm going to find another one close to as nice. This set has, the big card is one of Lou Gehrig's first cards. And then obviously Ruth and Cobb, Speaker, and other awesome stars. So guys, thanks for watching. Love the back here of it. Pitcher of Speedball fame. This is one of a series of 60 the most prominent stars in baseball. York Caramel Company, York, PA. So guys, thanks for watching. Have a great weekend and keep collecting.
Yes, white letters, yellow letters. Yes.